Hello everyone, how are you? So I would like to read a few paragraphs today from my book, Symbols of Sex Magic. After a comment I saw on my social media, and I love all your comments, whether they're good or bad, they're all the same to me. I'm really grateful for it, and it gives me a chance to talk about it and to see what people are interested in talking about. And so this person, I don't remember the exact words that they used, but something about the fact that I say that everything I teach is a story and it's not real. So I would really like to discuss it. I am a storyteller, and I will explain what that means. The fact that I say that I am a storyteller doesn't mean that what I am speaking about is not true, is a lie. When I say I am a storyteller, I'm actually giving you the pure truth, because I'm trying to find the right words to explain it. And the thing is, those who understand universal laws know what I'm talking about. Everything is a story. Everything is a story that we are creating with our subconscious mind. And it's funny that the same people who think that the temple is a story and it's not real and I'm making up all this shit, are people who perhaps have followed the Bible, which is also a story that is man-made, right? It's been created by other people to program you and to make you believe in their own agenda and to kind of put your mind in a specific cage or program. Let's just put this like this. Whether I'm inventing or I'm making up, the temple and all the wisdom of the temple, the wisdom itself and the knowledge itself frees people. You can ask most of the people who read my books and work with me how much more free and empowered they are to use their and are using daily their true powers and potential as human beings. Ask these people how much more elevated they are energetically, sexually, mentally. So if you want to call it a story, you can call it a story. I call it a story, but I don't mean the same story that you mean. For me, I know that stories are the best way to kind of reach in and dig in there to the deep subconscious mind of human beings. So if I sit here and lecture you, I come from the dimension of the temple, and this is our wisdom, and this is our knowledge, and I kind of do that sometimes, but hopefully I do it in a cute way. But I won't reach the deep space of your subconscious mind, not enough for me to actually make a difference. But if I give it to you as a story, this is why Hollywood is actually a very genius way to reach people in movies and stories, because they actually give a lot of truths. But in a way of a story, the subconscious mind of the human is more open to receive it. So if I wanted to stand here and talk to you about aliens and their ships and the way they're coming and what they're doing and blah, 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 you're not going to believe me. You think I'm crazy. You think I'm insane. Most people would think I'm insane. But if I show you a Hollywood movie about these aliens and what they're doing and it's like, oh, it's just a story. You're so open. You're like sitting there looking at this movie with anticipation, and you don't realize that in that moment you are open. You are wide open for programming. So I am using the same method because I understand the subconscious. I have mastered the subconscious mind. And not fully, of course, I'm still mastering it. I'm never going to be perfect. But I know how it works. And so if I want to give people truth and knowledge that is going to open them up and free them, but I know it's going to be, because people are so programmed today, it's going to not be easy for me to give it to them this way, then I will say, oh, let me tell you a story about the temple. Let me tell you a story about Isis and Lilith and what we used to do in the temple as sex priestesses. It is received with a little bit more openness. So again, you take it or leave it. I already know most people don't like me. They don't like what I do. I'm only here for those who are ready for this information. And whether you're ready for this information or not, it's perfectly fine. Either that or that, because you are on your perfect path. But I still have to do my job. This is my mission. And I am a servant of the Mother. And so, let me tell you another story from my book, Symbols of Sex Magic. I'm reading for page 16. And I'm going to read just a few paragraphs, not the whole thing. If you have the book, you can go read it by yourself. You don't have to listen to me. Or you just want to listen to me reading a story. So, the sisters speak to all humanity. As these stories began circulating, the world was being guided more and more into a male-dominant society. This, by the way, is channeling from the Sisters of the Temple. Stories are important, so are symbols, which stories are always filled with. So, we urge those who read this book and are storytellers to flood the consciousness of humanity now with stories that show the rise of the divine feminine within the human psyche to bring that reality to the surface. Your Bibles are filled with such stories that have programmed humanity and created an enslaved society ruled by fear and shadow male power. Now, we ask you to use the knowledge and awareness you have about symbols to begin observing with your eyes of inner wisdom and see through the veils of lies and disinformation. To pierce the veil of illusion by understanding the endless symbolism that has been used to deter you from your power, and use the symbols yourself while aligned with your true spirit. Connecting to the temple will help you see the truth and gain deeper wisdom of the use of symbols. Prepare your vessel as we have guided you in level 1, that's the book Sex Magic Evolution, and master your sexual flow each day with a pure and clear vessel in mind. Master your emotions, especially your fear, so it will not be used against you ever again. So this is a very powerful paragraph. Like, I can dissect just this paragraph and talk about it here for like 3 hours. So again, this is I know that those of you who understand it. And even if you don't understand it logically so much, don't try to understand it. Just let it go. Read it as a story. And when you read it as a story and you don't overthink it, you will wake up one day and understand that you understood it. If that makes sense. You'll just know one day. These books are full of codes. And even if you don't understand it logically in the same moment, you will one day just wake up and realize, I got it. I see the meaning. And you will just start using your powers naturally. I promise you. All you need to do is be open. Don't follow everything that other people say. Just be open, because the temple is the temple of Isis and Lilith. It comes into this dimension right now with such an elevated frequency. I cannot even begin to describe it in words, because I feel like words are very limiting for this kind of energy. Let me read one more paragraph here. So again, you have to read a lot about it, because there's a lot of information about what exactly happened in the temple with dark wizards and what they did to destroy the temple and all these things. But I just want to give you a little bit of more interesting parts. We knew that our world, this is again channeled from the sisters, we knew that our world must be divided to protect the temple. So it was that through extreme high magic, we have elevated the conscious temple to a higher dimension, the consciousness of the temple to a higher dimension, where it can be safe and protected. And we have had to release the rest of our reality and allow the rest of the humans to go on and continue on their path of learning, even though it was extremely difficult and painful for us to do so. We could not rescue the humans. We could not have done anything at that point. at the point of the destruction and the rising of the dark masculine energy. Which again, I talk about it in the book, and they give a lot of information about what actually happened. There is also information about King Solomon, which is it's really interesting. I never knew that. So yeah, if you're interested in that, read this book. So that was the point of no return, if you will, for human consciousness at that time. It needed to go through the deepest darkness, just like you are going through right now. So I feel like this is why perhaps the sisters have started channeling this through me about 5 years ago. And it took me, by the way, 2 years to be initiated myself before I even could talk about this, just so you know. Because we are going through that same cycle. And I feel like from what they told me, from what they showed me, that this same dark masculine force that have destroyed the temples, the sex temples back then, is coming to an end now. There is almost an ending to a cycle right now. And so this is why the truth is coming out, and we have to know this truth, and we have to just not know it, but embody it and live it in our everyday life. I mean, you have no idea how much work I do on myself to remain in that highest state of vibration. And I am not perfect. I'm never saying I'm perfect, but it's that integrity and that constant state of sacredness. I even tattooed that word on my hand this year in Hebrew, because this sacredness, I feel like living in that state is what gives me the connection to the temple, is what gives me true knowledge and true wisdom, and fills me with love so that I can use that knowledge with wisdom in the best possible way. So, okay, I've been rambling for too long. I love you guys. I hope that this was inspiring in any way. And I am a priestess of the temple. I am a servant of the Mother. And I pray for the awakening of all men and women and aliens on planet Earth. Thank you.